The majority of the time that you're racing in Street 2, you're going to see either the F40, the 993, or the SUPRA. And if you'd like to use a variety of cars, it's kind of hard to figure out what cars can compete with those, because the reality is those are the meta cars depending on the course, and there aren't any cars that really keep up with those. What you can hope for though is a list of cars like I'm going to show you in this video that sort of hold their own. These are cars that are obviously not as good as the meta, but it's definitely a nice variety of things to use when you just want to mix things up. So here are my top 5 Street 2 cars not named F40, 993, or SUPRA. Let's go. All right, real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my tunes, go to militiagamingco.com, click on Motorfest tools from the top, and there you will see all of my tunes, including some other tools for you. All right, let's get into it. At number 5, we have the Hurricane. This car is the best combination of top speed in slipstream with handling. It is absolutely the car you need to pick if the Grand Race route is all highways. For that reason, it lands itself on the list. It is certainly viable in other situations as well, but its main weakness is its ability to actually get to top speed. It takes quite a bit of NOS in the Grand Races to get the car there, especially if there's no slipstream opportunity. Also, its top speed advantage is sort of nullified when Street 2 happens to be the first or the second car in the race, and your slipstream partner has a slower top speed. Its solo cruising pace is much slower than its slipstream top speed, so you'll be limited to the top speed of your slipstream partner. But if you have 2 Hurricanes at the front of the pack, and there's any type of F40, 993 SUPRA situation happening behind you, the Hurricanes are just going to walk right away. All right, at number 4, we've got the Taycan Turbo S, or the Thunder Edition. I prefer the Thunder Edition, so give that one a try if you have it. This car is by far the best in terms of acceleration. With the tune that I'll share with you a little later in this video, you will out-accelerate any car in the class with or without NOS. Its handling isn't the worst either, making it a very viable car in a couple of situations within the Grand Races. The place where it struggles the most, obviously, is its top speed, so you need to keep that in mind when choosing it. Avoid long straight courses, and use it only when you see very twisty, windy roads. This car currently competes for my record on Kyusha Spirit, which is a course that offers exactly that. Also, beware of its braking distance. The electric cars in this game do not brake well, so make sure you plan for that. At number 3, we've got the NSX. The NSX is actually a hidden beast. Not a lot of people use this car, and it's probably because the back end feels a little bit loose. It's a very twitchy car. However, it has really great NOS power. It actually handles extremely well. It's got a very tight steering radius, and it's a car that you can sort of put up against the F40. The main problem with the NSX being that the top speed is just really not there, but it does oversteer pretty well. You just have to be cautious of it. It likes to bump around in gutters, and it kind of has a little bit of a slippy back end. That being said, the main weakness is the top speed for the car, so I really would avoid any type of long straight highway sections. At number 2, we've got the M5 CS Rival Edition. This car is an absolute beast. I mean, it is really fast, and it has to do with the fact that its NOS power is so good. Like, NOS on this car is one of the only cars that can rival the 993. It is crazy fast. On my test course, I ran a 207/649. It gutters extremely well. It's super stable off-road because of its all-wheel drive. It is a crazy car to use. However, in the Grand Races, understeer is an absolute killer, and this car has a tiny bit of understeer. So depending on the route, if it's like high speed, sort of tight turns, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue. You're gonna understeer with this car. But if you get it into gutter situations where it's back-to-back gutters, this car can accelerate away from a lot of cars in the class. I strongly recommend trying it out, but just be aware of that understeer. It does exist. All right, and finally at number 1, I've got the R32. Now the R32 also has one of the best NOS powers in the class. It also runs a crazy time on my test course with a 208/683. It's just one of those cars that just feels insanely good to drive. It's got great top speed as well, not quite as good as the Hurricane, so you're not going to use it in those highway sections, but it's a car that you can absolutely use. This would be my first choice if I wasn't going to use meta. The R32 gets it done. Now, because it's good with acceleration, it's extremely quick, it's got great NOS power, and it's got really good top speed. It does have a slight understeer problem when you compare it to other cars in the class, and it's the reason why this car is not meta. If it didn't understeer quite as much, it actually would be meta in the class. It's just a super fast car that just really doesn't handle quite as well as the F40. It's really unfortunate for this car because it's a super fast car. It accelerates better than most cars in the class, but it just has like slightly worse handling than the F40 and slightly less top speed than the Supra. So even though I think the R32 handles about the same as the Supra, it loses out on the top speed. And although the car is accelerating better than the F40, it just loses out just a little bit on the handling. So it's just right under meta, and it's the first car I would choose. Now, there are some cars in the class that deserve an honorable mention. Street 2, when you get outside the 3 meta cars, Street 2 is absolutely insanely packed. Like, there's tons of cars I didn't mention on this list. These just happen to be the most interesting to me, and you could probably take some of these cars and replace them with other cars that are, you know, similar. Some of those cars include the Corvette ZR1 or the Corvette Stingray Interception Unit or the GTR Haru Edition or the RS6 Yanamize Edition or even the Black Panther Skyline R34. There's just so many cars in S2 that do very, very well. Actually, I forgot one. The S2000 Kamea Hadar Edition is actually really good as well. So there's lots of cars in Street 2 that you can use that are super viable in the grand races. I just can't name them all in this video, but the top 5 are my personal top 5. And I'd be curious which cars you guys are using, so leave those down in the comments. Anyways, I hope this helps. Here are the tunes for the top 5. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.